Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. Still battling with a terrible cough, but let's get into today's video. I welcome you to a profound exploration of identity, lineage, and the interconnectedness of our existence. Now, a stirring conversation has been unfolding across social media platforms, sparked by a sister's heartfelt reflection on her ancestral connection. Now, she gazed upon a photo of her great-grandparents. She felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity, a resonance that transcended physical resemblance. Now, this intuitive knowing has resonated with countless others who've shared their own experiences of ancestral recognition. But what if this sense of connection runs deeper than mere sentiment? What if we are in fact the literal embodiment of our ancestors? Just like a sister says in one of the videos, the science is clear. We inherit their DNA, traits, and genetic information, making us direct biological continuations of their lineage. Now, this means we carry not only their triumphs, but also their traumas, wisdom, and experiences encoded in our bodies and psyches. Now, this reality underscores the profound significance of intergenerational trauma and resilience. Our ancestors' stories, struggles, and strengths shape our present, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and actions. The past informs the present, and this is why we symbolically represent infinity as the infinite eight, a loop of continuity where our ancestors' legacies live on through us. So with that said, join me as we take a look into the mysteries of ancestral connection, exploring the intersections of science, spirituality, and identity. Let's unravel the complexities of intergenerational transmission and discover how embracing our ancestral heritage can empower us to heal, grow, and reclaim our rightful places in the world. Take a look at the videos. I will be right back.
Okay, so this is a picture of my great-great-grandparents, and I always had a feeling that this could be me. And it's not just because of the way she looks, it's just something about her energy, even the way she holds her mouth, the way she carries herself. So I thought, let me see something. Oh my God. It also looks like she's wearing a monocle, which is spectacular. Like, what if we are our own ancestors?
All right, so go back and watch those two previous videos if you haven't watched them already. The first one is this lady, she's asking what if we actually are our ancestors returned. And the second lady, she gave her take on it and gave her little experience talking about how she feels like she is her grandmother returned. So I'm gonna give my quick little take on that as somebody who knows a lot about my family history. So I know a lot about my family history. I know so much stuff about my family history that I can tell you stuff about the family history that goes back into slavery times. I spend a lot of time with my elders. I talk to my elders a lot. And every time I talk to my elders, I always ask them questions about their life. I ask them questions about the family history, who their elders are. My grandparents still remember their grandparents. And my great-grandparents, when they were alive, still remembered their grandparents. And my elders, I'm not the first person in the family history. I'm not the first person in the family to care about family history. And so the people who came before me, I got a lot of history from their elders and passed it down to their grandchildren, and those grandchildren are my elders. And so I say all that to say, I can tell you stuff about people in my family who grew old and died before my great-grandparents were even a second thought. And my elders and their elders did such a good job passing down knowledge of the family's past that I can almost have an idea of what my ancestors' personalities were like based off what I'm told about them. And I can't even tell you how many times I have sat at a family gathering and I just sit in the background and just watch everybody interact. And when I look at people in my family, even people who are older than me, I can literally tell you which of my specific ancestors they remind me of the most. Even like when people in the family go through certain stuff and they come and they talk to me about it or they vent to me about it, sometimes when I hear my relatives talking about their situations, I think to myself, like, this exact situation has happened in our family history beforehand. And how ironic is it that the ancestor that you remind me of the most, when I sat down with Nana, when I sat down with Auntie Linda or so-and-so and such, and they telling me about their elders and their elders' elders, and it's like the ancestor that you remind me of the most went through the same exact situation in the past. Like, I can't physically prove that we come back over and over again. But based off my knowledge of the family history and my interactions with my family, not only do I believe that we come back over and over again, but I do truly feel like when we come back to learn lessons that we missed in the past. And I feel like being knowledgeable of that can make your life a lot easier. Like, I know this older lady, her name is Miss Kiki, right? And she told me, she said, you are who you come from. And the more I learn about my family history, the more I start to like truly understand it.
So we can all agree that we are our ancestors, right? And just to be clear, not in some like arbitrary, ambiguous way. No, we are literally our ancestors. Just to be clear, we inherit our ancestors' DNA, their traits, and their genetic information, therefore making us direct biological continuations of their lineage. What this means is we quite literally inherit their triumphs as well as their traumas and wisdom, which is encoded in our bodies as well as our psyches. And of course, this is why the past or history informs the present. This is also why we symbolically see infinity represented as the infinite eight, the snake eating its own tail. Healing ourselves then breaks ancestral cycles, ultimately freeing future generations. History repeats itself because we are creatures of habit. We carry patterns. However, when we heal the entire lineage, therefore impacting the past and the future. Of course, you and I have been incorrectly made to believe that time happens linearly, but we know that time is not real. It's an illusion. In fact, it is the mark of the beast. 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 2 + 4, or 6 hours in a day. Considering numerology and gematria, we remove the zeros because they have no value, giving you 666. Time is not real. Even further, everything everywhere is happening all at once. So instead of trying to conceptualize time as something that has a beginning and an end moving from left to right, it would be far more intuitive to imagine the past, the present, and the future as a limitless void, stacked on top of each other with no beginning and no end. Meaning everything everywhere is happening all at once. However, even though there's no definitive beginning and end, there is a core or center. Of course, this got me thinking, what if breaking the curse of time is finding the core of time? Of course, through the 12 universal laws and the 12 laws of karma, we know that manifestation can only happen in the present moment. Therefore, the only way to change the future and the past is to change the pattern of the cycle in the here and now. So basically, what I'm trying to get at is, what if us liberating ourselves and freeing all of humanity is what is actually going to be the thing that breaks the curse of time? Because the core of time is what the original spell was in the first place, which is enslaving us on this planet. What if once we actually do finally liberate all of us and liberate the whole planet, we literally free everyone ever that was, because we changed the core of time?
We are. This is not a new concept. Shout out to this creator. Since it's Hoodoo Heritage Month, I'm going to talk about it. It is well documented in many African traditions, tribes, spirituality, and cosmology that it is believed that we come back through our bloodline. And yes, this did carry over to where we are right now. How many times have you heard somebody say, that baby been here before? Oh, she been here before. Oh, she ain't. This ain't her first time here. That's Hattie coming back. Oh, no. That's cousin Ronald coming back. That's Ronald. If there ever was Ronald, that's Ronald right there. This is also why it doesn't make sense when the people be talking about, oh, I can do hoodoo because, my 15th generation's back and we're all African. Boo, no. I'm gonna tell you a little story, and I ain't gonna show my ancestor because if you know, you know. My grandmother passed when my father was 12 years old, which means obviously I never met her. However, as I was growing up and looking at myself and looking at a family photo, I could literally see myself morphing into this woman. And so I would play a trick. On my friends when they would come in the house. I would take my current high school photo and her photo, which she was in, I believe, her 30s. And I would say, now, who is this and who is that? And they would be like, and they would be so tripped up at how is there a black and white photo of you older than you are today. So anyway, y'all, get in these comments, stitch me, let me know y'all stories.
Now, I want us to seriously ponder on the question that a sister asked. Are we our own ancestors? For a lot of people, the answer is yes. Because on a simple biological level, we are our ancestors because we are the product of their continuous reproduction. It is the truth that regardless of whether or not two individuals had feelings for each other or whether they consented to having us, we would not be here without them. Now, for some, it's their belief that we're not only our ancestors through our flesh and blood, but through our spirits as well. They relate it to how the Holy Trinity is described. Some may get mad about that, but from what they understand, the Father, Son, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit are three versions of God, yet they are all the same. They say that we are our own people with our own identities and appearances, and yet you don't have to look far to see similarities between yourself and your siblings, cousins, parents, etc. And that is the familial bond we have with those who share our blood because we also share our spirits. Now, some agree to this by saying, yes, in a sense, we are our own ancestors because we are connected to our lineage, which transcends time. Some say they come to know ourselves as our own ancestor when we weave the past, present, and future together. This is really an interesting topic, and I can't help but ask this question. Who are our ancestors? Is it a different set of souls in each lifetime, or do they just accumulate throughout them? Are they really just the people that we've been in another lifetime or past life? Now, for some, they say that ancestors are your family members from the past generations. You're connected to them genetically, and some of them you met in this life, grandparents, sometimes grandparents, your parents or siblings become ancestors after they get unalived. They are watching over you as a family member. Some of them also might be soulmates who were with you in your past lives. Even in a different country and ethnicity, soulmate is a soul connection. Ancestry is a biological genetic connection, plus the energy field of the family, ancestral karma and trauma, positive and negative patterns in the family. In tribal societies, when souls usually reincarnated in the same tribe, both soul connection and tribal lineage were intertwined. In the modern world, souls rarely reincarnated in the same family or even in the same geographic region. So these are two different types of connections. But the closest family members, parents, siblings, usually also had past lives with you. Now, the stirring conversation sparked by a sister resonates deeply. The sister's intuitive knowing, supported by scientific fact, underscores a profound reality. We are indeed our ancestors. Now, this truth transcends sentimental connection, grounded in the science of epigenetics. Research demonstrates that our ancestors' experiences, traumas, and triumphs are encoded in our DNA, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Now, studies have also consistently shown that traumatic events alter gene expression, and epigenetic markers transmit intergenerational trauma. Moreover, ancestral experiences influence descendants' trace responses. Now, this intergenerational inheritance extends beyond biology, encompassing cultural heritage, traditions, and values passed down through stories, rituals, and community practices. Our ancestors' wisdom and resilience inform our present, guiding us toward healing and growth. Now, the symbolic representation of infinity as the infinite eight underscores this continuity. Our ancestors' legacies live on through us, shaping our identities and informing our place in the world. By acknowledging this ancestral connection, we can break cycles of trauma and pain, foster collective healing and growth, and rebuild community and cultural ties. As Dr. Joy DeGruy notes, we are not just individuals, we are representatives of our ancestors. Embracing this truth empowers us to honor our ancestors' struggles and triumphs, recognize and heal from intergenerational trauma, reclaim our cultural heritage and traditions, and cultivate resilience and wisdom. It's time to acknowledge the profound implications of this reality and harness the wisdom of those who came before us. Now, by embracing our ancestral connection, we can unlock a deep understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. We can heal, grow, and reclaim our rightful places in the world, standing on the shoulders of those who paved the way. Now, as we are coming to the end of the video, I just want to ask this question again. Are we our own ancestors? Now, this concept has sparked a fascinating discussion, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you also agree that we are, in fact, the embodiment of our ancestors, that their experiences, wisdom, and traumas reside with us? So I invite you to share your thoughts, your insights, knowledge, and personal experiences. How do you connect with your ancestral heritage? Have you experienced moments of ancestral recognition or resonance? And how do you think intergenerational trauma impacts our lives? And what ancestral wisdom or traditions do you honor? Your perspectives will enrich our understanding and foster meaningful dialogue. So make sure to share your thoughts, your views, your take in the comment section down below, and let's have a conversation and educate one another. Thank you for always watching, and see you in my next video as I bring you another interesting video.